You know what I really hate? Drama. I can't abide it, and that's why on this channel I will always try and avoid it. I'm here to educate and entertain, and controversy just isn't my bag. But today I am going to go in on a rather contentious topic because, well, it's in the news right now. It's time to talk about the art of the warm-up. Lots of you will be familiar with the story which has led to me making this video. A couple of weeks ago, Swedish House Mafia asked Yves Tumor to open for them with a DJ set at the Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York, a 23,000 capacity venue. And by all accounts, it didn't go well, at all. Not by Yves Tumor's own telling of it, and certainly not according to the crowd, judging by their comments on social media. Here's the thing though, Yves Tumor is a very experimental, challenging musical artist. They are not what I would call a working DJ by any stretch. And when you book an artist like that to open up for you in a massive stadium, chances are they are going to come across as a bit confrontational. That shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. So no, the audience, who, let's be honest, were probably mostly there to sing along to Don't You Worry Child, did not take to Yves Tumor's antics very well, and they, in turn, only got more confrontational. It just did not go well. So that brings me to the topic of this video, the art of the warm-up. I know lots of people feel some kind of way about this. It's come up on the social media pages of many DJs over the years, and frank discussion always occurs. But the thing is, I trust you lot, I really do. We have a great community of DJs who watch this channel, and I have faith that you will be able to discuss this down in the comments without things getting silly. So please, sound off. Your opinions are all as valid as mine, but keep it civil and keep it constructive. I have two distinct elements to my own take. There's one thing which I do believe to be a hard and fast rule, which I will explain first, and then we have the points which are more my opinion, based on my experience, which many might disagree with, and you're more than welcome to. Now, let's be clear on my vantage point here. I'm looking at all of this from the perspective of someone who is, in general, that opening DJ. I am not a headliner myself. I'm coming from a place where I'm part of the team in that venue, and I want the event to be a success in its entirety, because I'm not the headliner. To begin with, let's define what a warm-up set is. It doesn't really apply to things like big festivals for a start. If every act on a lineup is a big name who could headline events on their own, then nobody is the warm-up. Tiesto is not the opening DJ for David Guetta just because he's scheduled before him at Tomorrowland. No, we're talking more about clubs really, events which run for just a few hours and at which there may just be one big headline DJ. This is something which many of you watching this might experience every single weekend. You could be resident at a venue which regularly books big headliners. Or it might be something you only do once in a blue moon, which is when I feel it becomes more of a challenge in knowing how to approach it. Here's my hard and fast rule, which has only solidified more for me in the past few years. Like it or not, social media has changed the nightlife game. And when audiences in 2025 pay to see a big name DJ producer, they want to hear that person play his or her big tunes. Everyone is looking for that moment to post on their Instagram stories or their TikTok where that DJ plays either their latest banger or a timeless classic that they made. And so if you, as a warm-up DJ, play tracks by that artist, you're absolutely throwing a spanner in the works of what the crowd is expecting. Now, you might say to me, Mojaxx, I'm a techno or a drum and bass DJ, not a main stage EDM DJ. That's not how we roll in my scene. We're underground. But then to that, I will say, well, why do you need to play those big hitter tracks anyway? And the thing is, if you're opening for, say, Charlotte de Witte, you shouldn't be playing her remix of Age of Love. There's a high probability she won't play it herself, sure, but deciding whether to play it or not and to give the crowd that moment, that is her prerogative, not yours. It's her track. The same goes for playing the bells when opening for Jeff Mills or playing Ready to Fly before Sub Focus. To do so is rude, not just to the performer, but to the audience. So that rule I am standing behind 100%. It's all about delivering the best overall experience for the crowd, and not duplicating big moments is part of that. Which brings me on to my points, which are less rules and more my opinion. I'm an open format DJ and I typically play open to close, so my sets are very much about structuring an event in a certain way, maybe a gradual build up at the start with various peaks and troughs as the hours pass. So when I'm opening for someone, I see my task as being to build up the anticipation in the room to a point where it's ready to peak as the headliner takes to the decks. I will gradually take the BPM up to a tempo which I think the guest will begin at. I might even ask he or she what that is given the chance. And if I do go beyond that tempo, I'll bring it down again before they start. Doing a good warm-up is by no means an easy job. You want to build to that peak, but at the same time, if let's say the guest is on 3 hours into the night, you still want to give the crowd a good time for that first 3 hours, so you can't be afraid to bring a strong energy to your set. My biggest actionable tip here is play the opening set as if you're warming up for yourself. Get into the mindset of you're doing the whole night. And in that situation, you wouldn't hold back, but also you would not burn through all of your biggest bangers in the first couple of hours. You would save some for later on. This is one reason I think it's crucial for new DJs to try and do at least a few events where they're playing open to close, because it gives you a much better perspective on how an event flows. I'll now come back to that word team again. That's the main thing to keep in mind. You are part of a team running that event. You, the headliner, the promoters, the bar staff, the door staff, everyone is part of that team. And each member of that team has a role to play. The headliner's role, usually, is to have generated the number of bodies in the room and to deliver them an unforgettable experience. Your job as a warm-up DJ, and it is a job, is to help the event flow properly, to facilitate the headliner delivering that experience. So if that means you have to maybe dig a little deeper into your crates or play a little slower than usual, then so be it. At this point, I can hear a load of drum and bass DJs typing furiously in the comments about how that mindset doesn't fit with their genre, but I disagree. As with all DJing, it's just about reading the room. D&B crowds don't expect a nice gentle warm-up to an event, sure, but if you spend your opening set triple dropping all the big heaters from the past year, then you're still outside the realms of what I would say is a good warm-up. You should welcome the opportunity to spin some of the more overlooked tracks that you love of the minute, or older stuff you wouldn't get to play in a peak time slot, because in any genre, there is always room to dig deeper. It's worth putting in that work, because here's something that's not often talked about. Headliners will remember you if you do a really good or a really bad job. There are very successful DJs who have built their careers off the back of doing fantastic warm-ups for headliners, ending up going off on tour with them and then establishing themselves in their own right. Even if that doesn't happen for you, if a headliner likes what you did, they might ask for you to open for them again next time they're in town, or you might end up connecting over tracks that you make in the future. It's all part of the networking game, which is so crucial to this business. And if you do a terrible job, well, the opposite will probably happen. It's unlikely you'll be booked to open for that DJ again, and word does spread. Again, we live in a social media age. Circling back to how I started this video, I'm talking about this topic because the Swedish House Mafia audience was absolutely going in on Yves Tumor on social media. Yves Tumor is already an established artist in their own right. It will probably do them more good than harm in the long run. But if you're a new or up-and-coming DJ, then that kind of negative exposure can do real damage to your future prospects. Oh, and one last thing, if you're the warm-up DJ for a headliner and you're thinking of maybe doing this kind of thing during their set, as Chapter and Verse experienced recently, my advice is probably don't. This whole video is really intended to spark discussion, so please do sound off down below. Again, keep it constructive and respectful. There's no actual answer to what makes a good warm-up set, and every genre is different, so nobody's opinion is more correct than anyone else's. But I'd really love to hear your thoughts, whether you're an opener or indeed a headliner. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Beatsource Tech. If you liked it, be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss any future videos. And hey, if you haven't already, you can try Beatsource for free and join DJcity for just $10. All the links are down in the description. I'll see you next time.